5-second board is shown. Revs starting to rise. And shortly will be off and running. It's John Jenkins on pole. It's Sam Slater next to him. Who's going to make the best start? Pretty even between the two of those, I think. Samways, of course, in the dark coloured car on the second row of the grid. He might have the lead as they come down into Redgate Corner for the first time. It looks like he is ahead, in fact. Yes, he is. So it's Samways from third on the grid that moves into the lead of the race. It's Jenkins in second. Ben Butler is in third. Tao is still about sixth as they make their way off Redgate Corner through Hollywood for the first time. But Samways already has quite a few car lengths here over Ben Butler, who's moved up into second place, and it looks like it is Trevor Peters that's moved up into third position.
Yes, so a very good start from Ben Butler. All those years of experience. Then running wide is Peters, but that's okay. Sam Slater is in fourth. Then Tal Butler is next in fifth. I think Will Tyrrell is up to sixth from row 6 of the grid. So a great start there from Will Tyrrell, the 25-year-old in only his third season of racing, the novice champion from 2 years ago. But it's all together now behind Ollie Samways, the 2023 Mighty Minis champion, and Ben Butler in second. And Tal Butler that got a bit sideways on the exit of McLean's Corner, just behind Trevor Peters, who was second earlier on this afternoon. Runs a bit wide again, but I think he's stayed on. We've got to look out for the progress of Steve Rideout and Ian Slock if their cars are running better this time.
Down they come towards the Robert chicane. That wipe sort of flapping about on Ben Butler's. I'm not sure it's really doing very much. There's not a lot of moisture being picked up, I don't think. That's it. Ben Talbot has also got his wipers going as well. Only a few of the cars do, though. End of lap 1, then it's Samways by 0.4 of a second in the lead in car 58 from 43. Ben Butler in second. They are nearly 2 seconds clear of Peters in third place.
Slark and Ridout are 7th and 8th from near the back. Very sideways to Trevor Peters into Redgate. And now he's clobbered the side of Tal Butler, I'm afraid. And Butler's had a wild ride into the gravel and presumably out of the race. So an unfortunate incident there.
Yeah, just in the wrong place, wasn't he? He was tagged by the recovering Peters. Ruben Valudo, the Portuguese driver, left-hand drive mini, that one, has had a spin as well. He was 14th at the end of the first lap. So that's going to put Sam Slater, I think, up into third position, isn't it? Peters has continued. He's just ahead there of the 40 car of Chris Didcott and James Jenkins in the number 32 car, who's looking for better fortunes in race number 2.
Climbing the hill, there's Slark and Ridout. They're about 5 seconds behind the leader at the start of the lap. James Jenkins has just got past Chris Didcott for something like 8th position, it would be, I think. So progress now starting to be made by James Jenkins. You see the damage car there of Trevor Peters is carrying on for now, but some front end damage to that machine after that moment he had at Redgate Corner. He's just ahead of James Jenkins, the 22-year-old from Norwich.
You can see the snatch vehicle is now out on circuit to try to recover the Tal Butler car from the gravel at Hollywood, is where it's more or less ended up. So that'll be covered by yellow flags locally, I think. Leaders over the line again. Start lap number 3. It's Samways and Butler. The gap 0.3 of a second between them this time, but they'll be into a yellow flag zone now, so no overtaking there. But Butler had done the best lap of the race on the first flying lap, a 1:40.990.
That's nearly a 2 seconds quicker than earlier on, so further impressions that the track is improving. They go through this yellow flag zone. So Ian Slark is 5th. He's only really quicker than Will Tyrrell at this stage. The top 3 are faster. So Ian Slark, who's a multiple champion in this category, a 3-time champion, once in Mighties, twice in Supers, but coming back sort of with this bigger class, sort of finding it a bit more challenging, it would seem. Battle between Trevor Peters and James Jenkins carries on for 7th position. Trevor Peters, the retired engineer from Somerset, just ahead. Meanwhile, Will Tyrrell has been caught, hasn't he, by the 2 veterans of Mighty Mini Racing. Yeah, Ian Slark in the number 15 car and 7th, Steve Rideout, the man behind Octane Racing, who prepares quite a few cars on this field. He's in the sort of day-glow yellow car. Slark is in the
powder blue number 15 car, so he's got some experience behind him now, is Will Tyrrell in that number 33 machine, driver from Horsham. Historic race engineer is going to concede 1 place. Is he going to concede 2 places? He probably is. Steve Rideout might even make up a couple of places himself here as they head into the corner. Well, Tyrrell is trying to hold on. It's not quite going to work for him. They'll have to concede the ground. Loses 2 positions. He is down to 6th. Ian Slock up to 4th, and Stephen Rideout up to 5th as they come across the line to complete lap 3. But it was Sam Slater in 3rd place that did the best lap of the race. That time for 1:40.395. He was 1.2 seconds faster than Ben Butler and got the gap between 2nd and 3rd down to 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, so he's closing in. There's a great battle throughout the field here. The track is very gravelly, so does that mean Tal Butler's carried on? Got the car out the gravel and he's rejoined, I suspect.
Maybe that's what's happened, and that's caused all the gravel to...
Because he's done a 5-minute lap. Well, that was lap 1 though, isn't it? We'll see. So there's a lot of gravel on the track from somewhere. There's Sam Slater, who just set that fastest lap that Ian explained, and he's going after Ollie Samways and Ben Butler. Butler's not been able to find a way past Samways, despite catching him quite quickly in the early lap. There's Slater though in 3rd, the 29-year-old from Bristol in his 1990s car. He says he'd like to move into F1000, part of the 750 Motor Club programme, which would be significantly quicker than the Minis are, as you would imagine. So Sam Slater, for now, driving his Rover Mini, the 3-time British indoor karting champion, then in 3rd position. A big gap behind, so he can just concentrate going after the top 2 in the final 10 minutes. Ollie Samways is driving well here. The driver from Norfolk, who's been racing for 8 seasons, being a class winner in road sports, as well as Classic Sports Car Club and GT and Sports Car Cup races too. The 2023 Mighty Mini champion has just set the fastest lap and pulling away therefore with a 1:39.458, despite giving off the toe to Ben Butler behind.
Yeah, that's right. In the first race, best lap for Trevor Peters was a 1:42.270. So unsurprisingly, we've already gone faster than that now in these better conditions in the afternoon race. There's Trevor Peters with the sort of front bump hanging off his car, the number 44 car just going over the line, but he's going backwards. James Bryan from the back of the grid and Chris Didcott have both passed him. Peters, I think, will probably have a word with the clerk of the course after the end of this race for that incident that also involved Tal Butler. And he doesn't look to have rejoined. He's certainly not come across the timing line again.
Yeah, I wonder where the gravel came from then. That was a different incident. Certainly pretty messy up there. I imagine that I need a sweep for the next race.
I think so.
But down Hollywood into the crane as they come again. So there's 5 cars not separated by very much in this group. John Jenkins, who started from pole, he's there in 11th, just ahead of Morgan Bartley, the 24-year-old from Hertfordshire, who started racing last year in the 1994 Rover Mini A-Series engined car, the car that's been converted from a Mini 7 S-Class machine into the Mighty Minis for this season. And Morgan Bartley there in 12th position, the former karter and drifting competitor.
Yeah, and he's just behind the 64 car, John Jenkins, who of course started on pole position, down to 11th place now. There's a reverse grid, of course, and no surprise he's gone backwards. Here is Slark and Rideout. Now, what are they doing? They've not been lapping faster than the race leaders, and again, Ollie Samways has just put another personal best lap of the race in a 1:38.810. He's continuing to pull away from Ben Butler in 2nd, and that time through Slark and Rideout both do personal best, but both in the 140s. So for all their experience, they're lapping sort of a 1.5 seconds slower than the race leader Ollie Samways here.
Yeah, I think it just shows the pace that was in that Mighty Mini class. It may have been a good chunk slower than the Supers back in the day, but now everybody's got the same specification of car. It really evens things out, and it's certainly going to make the racing, I think, for the Mighty Minis Championship much more exciting in 2025. A battle for what is 4th position. Ian Slark ahead, the 51-year-old classic car restorer from Bristol. The 3-time champions ahead of Steve Rideout, the 57-year-old from Somerset, as Ian said, prepares the cars at Octane Racing, and several of the cars out there are within that team. And he sits there in 5th position. And they turn their way through McLean's, but they're not able to do anything about Sam Slater ahead. This is one of the better battles out there now, and this is for 9th position.
Yeah, Trevor Peters, number 44, in 9th. He's got Morgan Bartley behind him now. It looks like he's got ahead of James Bryan, doesn't it, as well?
Or has James Bryan got ahead of
Both
Trevor
of them.
Peters?
Yes, he has. So, yes, Bryan's got ahead of both of them. And so he's in 9th place now. This is 10th and 11th. Peters and Bartley, of course. Peters was second in the earlier race, wasn't he? But did explain the factors that might have been behind that. A little bit of fortune came into play. He's just struggling to get hold on to a top 10 finish here in this second race. There's still 6 minutes to go.
Ollie Samways is absolutely flying. He's driving away from the field now at 2 seconds a lap, which is remarkable in this type of racing. You don't see that very often. He's lapping the 1 minute 38 consistently now. The former sports specials driver, regular historic competitor nowadays, or as Trevor Peters, the damage on that car is just proving a little bit too much for him, I think. Yeah,
he's pulled into the pit lane there and out of the race, so he realised that he wasn't going any further forwards, he was only going backwards, so he's retired from a position inside the top 10, and that's promoted others behind him as well. Morgan Bartley then in that number 13 car is now in 10th position, blue car.
Sort of clear path now, isn't there, through the gravel that's been cleared away from the racing line there on the approach to Hollywood. So yeah, Morgan Bartley going well inside the top 10, and now going after James Bryan in 38 on the way down to the old hairpin. Just behind this group, Matthew Baker, who started from the back after being excluded in the earlier race, just ahead of Paul Hollett, Claire Jeffries and Ruben Veludo, who complete what will be now 15 runners in this race. There's still a quarter of it to go. But Ollie Samways, who struggled in the wetter conditions, is sort of picking off where he regularly was over the last couple of years at the front of the field, and is just driving off into the distance. We've both sort of seen a lot of mini racing over the years here. You don't usually see someone able to pull away a couple of seconds a lap, as Ollie Samways is at the moment, from Ben Butler.
No, that's right. It's unusual to see a drive like this. We kind of saw it on occasion when he was in the Mighty Mini class previously, as we're watching now James Bryan under pressure from Morgan Bartley, who's later on the brakes into the chicane at Robertson. He goes through there, so Morgan Bartley goes through, but yes, Samways is just in imperious form here. Gap of more than 6 seconds already in this race, with 4 minutes or so left to go.
Going to that point you made earlier with Trevor Peters and the setup in the earlier race, just wonder if the likes of Ben Butler went for a wetter setup, and now his pace is just going off as maybe the tyres overheat. The setup just isn't right for these drier conditions that we've got now, because it has driven remarkably quickly, hasn't it?
Oh, and that's a big off, I'm afraid, for Will Tyrrell. It looks like the car has been on its roof there. That's the 25-year-old from Horsham. A spin as well for number 61, which is Matthew Baker. Matt Baker. And we get a red flag now. Race being stopped. We'd had that big incident for Tyrrell there, for car 33. The white flags as well as the red flags, whatever, that's to warn the drivers that there's a service vehicle, a rescue vehicle, medical car or something like that out on circuit as well. There it is, the 750 Motors Club rescue vehicle heading to the scene of that incident at the old hairpin.
That's the second mini that's been over that part of the track today, I'm afraid. It's always a possibility, isn't it, in these conditions?
Yeah, and as we get into the gravel and the car will dig in. We've only got 3.5 minutes left of the race, so checkered flag icon now showing on the screen. The driver's out of the car, which is great to see. So good news for Will and his supporters that Will is out of the car. He's inspecting the damage. It's a buckled roof on that car. But the race will not restart, Josh.
With only a few weeks of Silverstone, you just wonder if he and Graham Shepherd, whether those cars will be ready for that round, which, if it's dry, should do some spectacular racing around the Silverstone National Circuit.
Absolutely shouldn't it? 3 weeks away, well, less than 3 weeks away, because of course it's we're on the bank holiday Monday here. So some work to be done behind the scenes to get cars prepared for Silverstone. Let's have a look at the result then. 6 laps is when the result has been declared. Ollie Samways, the race winner in car number 58. Second to number 43, Ben Butler, 4.1 seconds behind. In third place, number 93, Sam Slater. Fourth was number 15, Ian Slark. In 5th position, number 7, Steve Rideout. In 6th was 33, Will Till, although he'll be removed from the results because he was the cause of the red flag. So up to 6th will go number 40, Chris Didcott. To 7th will go 38, James Bryan. To 8th will go number 13, Morgan Bartley. To 9th will go 64, John Jenkins. And Trevor Peters, I think, also was not running at the time of the red flag, so it may well be Matt Baker that's classified in 10th position. All of that subject to official confirmation. You can see the finishers, Paul Hollett and Claire Jeffries. Fair Ruben Veludo also did make it to the end of that race. We lost Tal Butler and James Jenkins in that race as well. We're all ready to speak to our race winner down in the pit lane, so let's head down to Andy McEwen.
So, slightly early end to that second Mighty Mini race of the weekend, but Ollie Samways won't mind one bit because he was comfortably out in front anyway. Ollie, come over and have a chat with us. That was about as comfortable a victory as I've seen for a long time in Mighty Minis. So important, isn't it, to get away early doors?
I had a similar one here a couple of years ago, race 2, and it kind of dried out towards the end, and I just had a real good feel, and that came again today. So, had a blistering start. I think starting on the outside, a little bit more grip, so managed to get away, got John on the inside, and then it was just trying to work away. The track improved so quickly there. Every lap was different and just getting better and better. So yeah, to start with, it was very switch over, crossed arms, going around there, especially down Craner, and then afterwards, it was on rails again. So absolutely brilliant. I just want to thank you, Steve Rideout, really quickly for getting the car ready over winter. And it's just, yeah, car's mega. Obviously, race 1 was a little bit different. Yeah, we had a bit of an issue there, but luckily finished the race, managed to sort the car out, and yeah, a win now, so mega.
What was the issue out of interest in race 1?
Just had a little punt up the rear, but conditions were difficult. Yeah, every lap got worse and worse in race 1, so yeah, it was all fine. Luckily, we were all right. Car's fine. We got back out, so yeah, all good.
We often think of changeable conditions the other way around, really, don't we? Going from dry to wet, and the track gets less grippy with every lap. How much of a challenge is it when it's this way around there? Because you'd think more grip each lap makes it easier, but then you can't afford to hold back, can you? Because someone else will be taking bigger risks.
Yeah, well, it pushes you into going harder, and obviously you go into another corner, it might be a little bit wetter, which you think is dry from the previous corner, so you get a bit more confidence, and that's when things start to go wrong. So we've had both today. First race it got wetter, this one got drier, so we've had a real mix today. But yeah, really happy with this. It's been brilliant. So
excellent job, Ollie. Congratulations on the race victory then. Ollie Samways, our winner in race 1. Ben Butler back on the podium. Ben, not the top step this time, but satisfied with second?
Oh, 100%. 102 podiums. I can't complain. First and the second. It's unbelievable. I mean, not making excuses, but my head gasket's literally blown.
Oh, really?
So I started losing power. I was just wanting to maintain that second position. That's all I wanted to do. I'm glad I'm here.
That's interesting then. So do you think if the race had gone to its full duration, you might have struggled to make the end, at least in a podium place?
Do you know what? It was getting close. My temperature was getting really, really high. I think I had another 2 laps and then I would have been in real deep trouble. So I'm just fortunate enough to be on the second. It's not where I wanted to be, but I'm grateful for being on the podium again. Hats off to Ollie, because he's a superb driver. Me and Ollie have had many a battle. Yeah, I'm just over the moon.
Been a solid day points-wise as well. Looking forward now to the next round. Are you confident you can keep that going?
Yeah, I've got a bit of work to do on my son's car. He had a bit of an off with Ollie, bless him, earlier on. But you know what? We'll just go literally back to the workshop, take them all apart again, strip, rebuild them. Away we go again.
And you do most of that work yourself, do you?
I do, yeah. So it's me and my son. I do, yeah, literally the whole lot. First year for doing everything myself. Towards the end of last year, I started, rebuilding my engines, and I was like, you know what, I can actually do this. So yeah, I've just carried on, got super power, super setup, and it seems to be working. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Excellent stuff. Well, congratulations. Really solid day for Ben Butler here at Donington Park. Second place in race 2. Let's go this way, shall we, Johnny, and chat to Sam Slater, who makes his first appearance on the podium this weekend. Sam, well done. Third place finish. Nice way to end the day, that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, never been to the circuit before, so I had lower expectations than probably these two. But yeah, to be fair, I was using the footage of them racing a couple of years ago to be able to learn the circuit, so I knew they'd be at the front, and to be able to kind of run with them was, yeah, quite good. So I'm happy with that. I think my issue today was pushing it a little too much. I was on the gravel in both races.
Oh, really?
But I still managed to survive and yeah, get a good result. So third and the fifth, yeah, I'll take it. Not bad. For a track I don't know.
Well, see, that surprised me because you've been around in this championship for a few years now, on and off, I guess, rather than full season campaigns. So now you have driven it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely, I actually prefer it in the wet, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found it a lot more, I mean, I was partially blind for the first few minutes of my first race, but when I got used to the wet, I definitely found a rhythm which was gunning the leaders down. But here in the dry, I was definitely losing something. In reflection, I was taking that one in fourth. I should have been taking it in third. So yeah, after talking to Ollie, he's now given me the secrets after we finished. But yeah, I think definitely because we've changed regs, and there's a couple of differences to the car and how they drive. Getting used to that. This was my first time driving the new regs as well, so new to the circuit, never done it in the wet. New regs on the car, a lot of adaptations for me this weekend, and to get third, yeah, happy, very happy.
I would be too. Sam, congratulations on third place then.